Today I want to do some experimenting. This is a 23 gauge pin nailer. It shoots these teeny tiny pins, and I just want to satisfy myself as to how easily I can make them disappear in a finished piece. Now here are some 1/2 inch long 23 gauge pins, and I pulled one out. So here is one pin. They are tiny, somewhere around 1 millimeter, less than a 32nd of an inch or so. Most of us are well familiar with nail guns. And 23 gauge pins are known for being tiny. 1, 2, 3. I'm right now 2 feet from the lens. Can you see them? Here, let me get closer. 1, 2, 3. And I want to make these go away. So over here I've prepared a test board. I have some ash, I have some maple, I have some cherry, some walnut, and just for fun, a little bit of padauk. This all came out of my scrap bin. I ripped them all, so they're all the same thickness. They're just a hair over 1/4 inch thick. I've seen a video where the guy, he just slaps in the pin nails and then he sands it heavily and applies finish, but he didn't give a close-up. So I'm going to give the close-up because I'm pretty sure that's going to make these holes practically disappear. But let's find out for sure before I actually go and do it on a precious project. A little glue underneath each one as I tack it into place. I'm probably putting in too many, but I mean, I'm only doing a few boards, so that's it. Now, right after shooting the nails in, to me, they are all very visible. That's the ash, here's the walnut, here's the cherry. I purposefully took this side of the cherry because I want to just try it with some wild coloration as well as just... So yeah, right now, they are certainly small, but they are visible. And next I'm going to sand them fairly aggressively. I've got some 80 grit in the yellow one, got some 150 grit in the black one. Okay, here they are after a quick sanding. It's better. They're not completely disappeared. But now I'm going to put some polyurethane on. I'm preparing for a desk project, which is why I'm using polyurethane. And yeah. This is just a first coat, obviously. And I will probably pause the camera and I will come back. Okay, here I have 2 coats of water-based polyurethane. And yeah, from a little ways away, it looks good. If you painted it or from across the room, this might be good, but I'm planning a tabletop, which is going to be, or a desk actually, which is going to be very visible. And I want these to completely disappear. And you get raking light on this and it's really obvious. It's hard to get that in the camera. Let's see. So next, again, I'm being really picky here because I want to just see, can I make them completely disappear? And I'm mostly interested in the walnut because that's the project that I'm thinking of, but I just want to try everything here. And yes, I know you could fill the holes. Pin nailers have always been sold as, you know, you don't need to do anything, they just disappear. But when you really get close to it, there's still a hole. So anyways, what I'm going to try now is I'm going to sand this finish down, because another tip I read online is to wet the wood down with water and let the fibers swell, and then we'll see. So I'm going to take it back down to 80 grit and we're going to treat it with some water. Yeah. We'll have to see, because the funny thing is, to me, now that I've washed it, they really stand out. I don't know. Well, we'll see how this next round goes, but if you're expecting it to disappear like I was, it's not exactly disappearing. Really, the woods with the stronger grain, the walnut, the padauk, the ash, those seem to be doing better. Just because there's somewhere for the hole to hide. But the maple, with it's very flat and plain and pale, and the cherry to a lesser extent, I find the holes stand out more. Like here, I'm doing the ash, and from my head to the table is like 2 feet or so, and they almost disappear. But the maple is very visible. The cherry is very visible. The walnut kind of depends. I tried doing some hand sanding where I would just sort of concentrate by the hole so I could try to get some sawdust to build up in the hole. Doesn't seem to be doing it. Anyways, we'll let this dry and we'll see. Yeah, so the water didn't work, so I'm trying to make some sawdust. Because the other idea that I saw is to pack them with sawdust and then put some super glue on it, which I didn't want to do, because the idea is to not have to fill all the holes individually. They're so small, they just disappear. Get them wet. Just sand them with the power sander or something. But it's not doing it. This is way too much attention to detail than I wanted. I can even sand this by hand just to be sure. Alright, last time. And regardless, it's a fail because I did not want to have to do anything, was sort of the idea. Yeah. These two are really dark. These two are kind of light. And here we go. Here's the one. Here's the other. This has been filled with sawdust and CA glue. Here's one. Here's the other. Interestingly, on this one I did not end up putting any CA glue in it. And this one has fairly strong grain, and so the pinholes are much harder to see. And again, here's the padauk. I didn't fill these with CA glue, so this is just sort of a little bit of finish on it afterwards. So still remnants of when I treated it with water. In other words, the ash still looks the best. Strong grain. So yeah, that's not the results that I was expecting when I started this little experiment. And so that's why you experiment. That's why you practice before you go ahead and commit yourself to some new technique on your precious project. I know you can fill holes, but even filled holes can be noticeable if you get close, or depending on the technique that you use. And again, the conventional wisdom that I've heard for ages is that these pin nail holes, they just disappear. But for me, the answer is no. Please prove me wrong. If there's something I missed, let's put it in the comment section. Let's make good use of the comment section and share knowledge. I would love to be proved wrong. See, I was going to make a desk. That's what I'm planning to make a desk, and I didn't think I had enough walnut for the top, and so I thought, I'd seen this online. I was going to lay down a sheet of plywood and nail down strips. I thought it would look kind of interesting, but I didn't want to see nail holes. I don't want the rustic look. So I went out and bought some more walnut. and I'm just going to make a solid top. But that's an upcoming project, and that's about it for this one. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you found something interesting or enjoyable, and we'll see you on the next one.